Hello and welcome to episode 30 of Ryan and Rob in Wrexham. And today we start our second season in the Premier League, a season in which we are going to be playing in the Europa League. Now, if we have a quick look at where we are predicted to finish, it might have gone up since I last looked. No, we're still predicted to finish 18th despite being the Europa League team here. It's a little bit crazy, but we just did very well last season, I guess. If we have a look at transfers, we can see the business we've done. We've been quite busy throughout this window. As you can see, we spent quite a lot of money. We also made quite a lot of money. I don't think we had any. Oh no, we did have at least one went through, and yeah. So our first signing of the summer was Kim Christian Hovenhall or Hoyenhall from Bodo Glimt for £5 million. He has 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. He is 21, so I don't know whether he'll realise that potential or not. I don't know quite how it works with goalkeepers on here. But he's currently Championship standard and potentially Premier League standard. And I thought, given he's young, we'll give him a chance. Not the best shot stopper, but pretty good on the ball. Our second signing then was Paul Pogba. Now, he's not very good anymore on here. Apart from, he's brilliant technically and mostly mentally, but awful physically. The reason we signed him was purely because of his reputation. He was available, not too expensive. We are paying 2.5 million up front and then another 4.5 million after 50 appearances, which I don't think he'll ever get for us. But he has because of his reputation, it was basically a way of getting our reputation up from 3-star to 3.5, because I was a bit sad that we didn't manage to improve our reputation despite getting into the Europa League. We then signed Manfred Solis from Saprissa. He's now gone out on loan to Slavia Praha, where he'll play as a star player, and looks to have started pretty well with 2 goals in 3 games from the centre of midfield. He is a Championship standard player with potential to be Premier League, and I think we bought him for 875k. The loan's worth 1.5 million by itself, so I'd say we've done pretty well there. Our first sale of the summer was Rebchuk. He went to CSKA Moscow for £7.5 million, so a very good return on him. He played about 70 times for us, and we signed him for 165,000 in the Championship, and sold him for 7.5 million after a season as a backup in the Premier League. We then had Conor O'Malley released. He went to St Johnstone. Sad to see a model citizen go, but because he never got to a team leader status, he wasn't as effective a mentor as other players might be. Then we sold Reece Yates to Norwich. This was a weird one. His value when he was at the club was about £20 million. And then I offered him out because I've realised he wasn't ever going to be good enough for me. And the best bid I got was £1 million. So, yeah, he's had a few years out on loan in National League, League 2, and then in Israel. And, yeah, he went for £1 million in the end with, I think, some clauses added in. Louis Molyneux went to Cardiff for what could rise to 650k. We bought in Eduardo Camavinga, whose idol, of course, is Pogba. He hasn't developed at all like he has in real life on this save. That's because he barely ever played for Real Madrid. He only made, let's see, how many appearances was it? 40 appearances for Real Madrid in 6 years. So not a lot. And that's reflecting the fact that he's got lots of blues but not really any greens. Hopefully that will change. He's currently a decent Premier League player with potential to be good Premier League. So shame that he's not as good as he could have been and has been in other saves, but very cool to have him anyway, and it's good for our reputation, I think, to sign a player of his ability. We then sold Colm Whelan for £5.5 million to Porto. He'd been incredible for us. He'd got lots of goals, lots of assists. Last season obviously wasn't amazing, but the championship season particularly he was incredible, or the 2 championship seasons he was incredible. got lots of assists in that first season and then lots and lots of goals in the second season. So 83 goals in 167 games with quite a lot of assists as well. So he was a very, very good servant. Sad to see him go, but for that amount of money, happy that we managed to get that done. Then we sold Kieran Renshaw for £1.6 million to Fulham. He was with us from our youth academy, went out on loan a couple of times, and was never going to be quite good enough. I think he does have potential to be a Premier League player. Yeah, but not soon enough that he'll be worth that. We then have just sold Katanich to Parma for £8.5 million. Pretty good from us. We know £1.9 million, played 29 times in the Premier League, did decently, and then went for £8.5 million to Parma just a year later. And we've just sold Victor Hugo to Anderlecht for £17.75 million. He was decent last season, but I think we couldn't really turn that money down. We offered him out because we need to try and create space for a certain player who is hopefully coming in very soon, but there is a bit of competition for him. We then managed to sign Garnacho from United for £5 million, potentially rising to £6 million. We beat out competition for him. He'd been here, actually, let's look at his history. It's probably a bit ridiculous. Yeah, Wrexham on loan 3 times in a row, done pretty well for us. Wasn't amazing last season, but decent enough, and hopefully will be even better than he has been historically this season. So we've signed him for £5 million. Can't really go wrong with that. We then signed Marko Lukac from Kukriki, but he again can't get a work permit, so he has gone out on loan to Bordeaux, where he should comfortably get a work permit. I'm not sure whether Solis will, but I hope we will at some point. And if he doesn't, then we can just loan him out again. We then signed Gustavo from Monterrey. He's a 30-year-old ball-playing defender who's 4-star ability, incredible defensive stats here, and some pretty good mentals. The only downside is his jumping reach is 9, so we'll see what happens with that. He's supposedly our best defender. If it turns out that is a big problem, then we'll have to sell him, but hopefully it'll be fine, and also him being right-footed does help as well. We then signed Gabriel Barbosa from Leeds. He's 30 years old as well, and just has some very good stats, and also 20 penalty taking. So if he ever gets a penalty, the chances of him missing it are pretty slim. His goal scoring record's not incredible. It's obviously pretty good in the Brazilian league, but only 14 goals in 75 games at Tottenham. He did get 2 in 5 at Leeds. I don't know, was he on loan? No, he just went on a cheap deal there. And didn't play very much for Leeds, which is a bit surprising because he looks like he's got some pretty good stats. Our final signing is Jefferson Beltran. He was a 17-year-old, now he's 18 years old, and he'll be a backup left back to replace Rebchuk. Beltran gets an immediate start, an immediate debut really in this game against West Ham for the first game of the season. That's because Drew Warburton is still suspended after that stupid red card he got last season. Gustavo makes a start as well alongside Brett Powell, and then Camavinga and Barbosa also coming into the starting 11 as players that we didn't see in the team last season. A lot of my players, well, in fact, all my players really are on basically okay morale, which is never a good start. I don't know quite why that is. Probably because I've made quite a few signings and it's just, they're settling in. But, it's a little bit worrying. But hopefully we can get a good start and instantly get the morale up. Garnacho's header directly at Paul Lopez, who now attempts to clear it out. Paul there, though, on hand to retrieve the ball for us. Gustavo into Stanijevic. Dont, poor cross, easily cleared out by Zuma, but again, Powell is on hand. Dont now combines with Camavinga, goes past his man. Can he get a good cross in? And Garnacho's there to head home from the debutant's cross. Great start from Camavinga. Great start from Garnacho, I suppose. His unofficial debut, I guess, because he's made many appearances for us, but Of course, this is his first match for us as a permanent signing. Trego somehow kept hold of the ball there. I thought we'd given it away stupidly. Garnacho's in behind, slipped in by White, and Stanijevic off the bar. That's unlucky. That was a brilliant move. Almost a fantastic finish from Stanijevic. A really powerful strike that. Just that little bit too powerful. Trego, Savin clears it out, and it's misjudged by the defender, and now Barbosa. Camavinga, oh, that's unlucky. He's looked dangerous so far. If he performs like this every game, he might actually get up to the level that we were expecting. You may also be surprised by his price. He was actually available for 11 million, but if I wanted to sign him for that amount, I'd have had to pay basically like 180k of wages. So I chucked in a clause to pay where Real Madrid are paying 125,000, so we're only paying him 40,000 ourselves, and for that they basically wanted 8 million more. So we were happy to do that because our board wouldn't let us sign him otherwise with a huge wage, and I'd rather spend that money in a bit of transfer budget. Oh, that's unlucky. Barbosa couldn't quite sneak that past Paul Lopez. It was kind of directly at him, but it was a difficult finish to get off anyway. The forwards are doing pretty well. Gabriel Barbosa not quite on the same level yet, but of course getting used to things, and it looks like he will have other chances this game. We are playing very well. Garnacho now, and he scores his second of the game, this time with an assist from Barbosa. So 2 assists from debutants, and Barbosa probably getting his rating up. Really good start from us. I don't know where West Ham are predicted to finish, but we are completely controlling this game at this point. And Don, oh, that's unlucky. Good save from Paul Lopez. Looked as if that was sneaking in there from Don. I suspect this season will be particularly difficult because we've got Europa League. Our squad's not the biggest, so perhaps I should have made sure that the squad was a little bit larger. But I think I'd rather get in quality rather than just sheer numbers of mediocre championship players. Keep the boys motivated. Stanijevic and Gustavo, the only outfielders not on a 7 or 8 rating or higher. Now Gustavo's stepped up to that level. Can Stanijevic do the same? He was really starting to get into form in the latter part of the season. Got lots of goals from corners all of a sudden. Could this be one? No, but Gabriel Barbosa scores from it. And now he has a goal and assist. I'm absolutely loving this game so far. Who else should we get on then? I reckon we'll give... Ooh, it was a tough one. So many players that I'm happy to see doing well today. Let's get Simon Evans on. I might try him as an advanced playmaker and see if he can do his passing game a bit more, because we've had a lot of him as a Mazzala. What else do I do? I guess maybe... Yeah, we'll get Dontov. He can come off for Kuzmanovic. Or maybe we'll get Hansen Aron on instead, because we could switch the sides of these two. And then I reckon I'll just wait to see who else goes down to red. Looks like we timed Stanijevic's substitution as well, because he went red just as the substitution was made. And Garnacho now, so I guess we'll get Camavinga off and get Galbraith on. And there is a goal back for West Ham, hopefully too little too late. Not ideal for Savin's save percentage. Savin starting a move from the back, now whacking it long Hansen Aaron does head it down to Simon Evans. He's in behind, and he puts it home. 4-0. Oh, no, not 4-0, 4-1. That's a really good bit of play from Evans. Perhaps his long-term position is as an advanced playmaker rather than Mazzala. Last year, Mazzala's were the position for me, certainly in my midfield, along with a box-to-box and a deep-lying playmaker. But perhaps advanced playmaker is it this year, because, you know, Victor Hugo was probably the better of the two, and his stats didn't suggest that. So we'll see what happens with that. We've now managed to confirm that extra signing. So Agustin Leclerc coming from Estudiantes in Argentina for £5.5 million, 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential, 19 years old, with 16 dribbling, 18 first touch, 15 passing, 17 technique, 16 work rate, and 20 flair. He looks like a fun little player. We could ideally do with changing that personality, particularly because he's quite low determination. So I'll need to have a look and see who there is available to us and what we have in terms of personalities within the squad that can help with mentoring. Next up, we have Tottenham Hotspur in the second game of the season, in what could be Toby Savin's last game for us. I'm trying to get Gavin Bazunu in from Manchester City. He's been at Portsmouth in real life this season, in 21-22, and seems to be doing very well. He's also doing brilliantly for the Irish national team. And he looks pretty good on FM. Very, very good aerial reach, and then good other stats, and just better than Savin in most ways. Aside from that, Warburton's back into the starting 11 on the left-hand side. That's just because he's back from his suspension and he is better than Beltran. Stanijevic starts alongside Camavinga again, and then, yeah, basically the same team as last time with just a couple of miniature changes. Let's hope we can continue as we did last time, because it was a really good first game from us. Looks like Tottenham are going with a back five, signing 2 United players who are potentially going to be leaving at some point in the future, De Gea and Wan-Bissaka. Don't know where De Gea will likely go, but I personally, as I have mentioned before, do not really like him that much anymore. Once thought he was the best goalkeeper in the world, and now he frustrates me so much because he always passes to the opposition. Grealish's corner, can't find Ake, but he gets the ball back, and Agate with a great finish. That's a really good strike from Agate. Can't really complain about a finish like that. That's phenomenal from him. Right into the bottom corner. And unfortunately, Powell and White are both very upset about that, as is Dont. You'd hope we'd be a bit calmer, really, about that sort of thing. Everyone's motivated except Savin. Not sure why he's demotivated. We haven't really done much this game, not created anything really of note. It's a bit of a shame. I'm not quite sure what to do for substitutions, really, because this is our strongest 11 pretty much. Nice build up from Spurs. White steps in nicely and could get a return pass. Trego does find White. Tackle's made, but it's broken to Garnacho. Now Gabagol. Stanijevic into Garnacho, and he gets his third goal of the season. And that is 1-1. Garnacho and Dont not really in the game so far, but Garnacho has managed to step up with a goal. If he can continue this scoring form for the rest of the season, then we will be absolutely delighted. Warburton looks to have picked up some kind of knock, so we'll get him off for Beltran. And Dont can come off for Lorenzo, I think. Yeah, makes the most sense to me. Who else? Camavinga, perhaps? Get him off for Lucas Noche. If we can nick a winner, that's great. If not, a draw against Spurs away from home is not a bad result, even if Spurs haven't been as good as they are in real life in the last few seasons on Football Manager. Well, a 1-1 draw, can't complain too much. Leclerc, I'm not quite sure how it's said when it's Q rather than C. He couldn't play today because he'd already played in a match on the same day. So a busy day for him, playing and then immediately signing for a new team in halfway across the world. But yeah, that's that done, and we are currently sitting in second place. With it's largely because of the goal difference we've got from the first game. But yeah, a good start to the season. Oh, Liverpool have already lost a game. 3-2 against Manchester City. That'll be why. Anyway, I'll just show you Bazunu. 5 million up front, 7.5 million in total, and looked pretty good. Not outstanding in any way. And again, he's a balanced personality, which I don't like at all. But he's a good goalkeeper, and he's probably the best that we can get by quite a long way. That's actually interested in coming, because with our reputation, there's a lot of players that aren't interested. We may make some more signings because of the money we have got, but we'll have to see. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a fantastic day.